Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Conversations in English. I'm Bob.
And I'm Martha. We're so glad you're joining us today.
Today, we're talking about something really important for English learners: how to talk about our feelings and emotions.
That's right. We'll give you lots of practical examples and explain different ways to express how you feel in everyday situations.
So, Martha, let's start with a simple question. How are you feeling today?
Well, honestly, Bob, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed today. I had a really busy morning, and I'm still trying to catch up.
I can relate to that feeling.
And that's a great example for our listeners. I said I'm feeling overwhelmed. This means I have too many things to do, and it's making me feel stressed.
Exactly. Instead of just saying, I'm busy, Martha used overwhelmed, which gives much more information about her emotional state.
Right. What about you, Bob? How are you feeling?
I'm actually feeling pretty content today. I woke up early, had a nice cup of coffee, and I'm looking forward to recording this episode with you.
Oh, that's lovely. Content is such a nice word.
It is. Content means peaceful and satisfied. It's different from happy. It's more calm and steady. You're not jumping up and down with excitement, but you feel good about your life.
That's a perfect explanation. Now, let's talk about some common situations where people need to express feelings. Bob, imagine you just got some bad news from work.
Oh, no. Well, I think I'd say I'm really disappointed or I'm feeling let down.
Good choices. Those are much better than just saying, I'm sad.
Exactly. Disappointed is more specific. It means you expected something good to happen, but it didn't. Let down means someone didn't do what they promised.
Right, those are much more precise. What about positive feelings? Let's say you just heard your friend got a promotion at work.
Oh, that's easy. I'd say I'm thrilled for them or I'm so excited.
Those are great, and notice how Bob said thrilled for them, not just thrilled.
That's a point.
This shows that the happiness is about someone else's good news. You could also say, I'm delighted for them, or I'm over the moon for them.
Over the moon is a fun expression. It means extremely happy.
It really is. Now, let's talk about some tricky emotions. What about when you're feeling multiple things at once?
Oh, that happens all the time, like when you're starting a new job.
Yes, that's a perfect example.
I'm excited, but nervous. I'm feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. Both of those feelings can exist at the same time.
Exactly. And it's totally normal to have conflicting emotions. You don't have to pick just one feeling.
That's such an important point, Martha.
What about when you're not sure how you feel? That happens too.
Oh, yes. You could say, I'm confused about how I feel, or I have mixed feelings about this.
Right. Or you could say, I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, or I need time to process this.
Process is a great word here. It means to think through something carefully and understand it.
Now, let's talk about intensity. Sometimes we feel just a little bit of something, and sometimes we feel it very strongly.
Good point. So instead of always saying, I'm angry, you could say, I'm a bit annoyed for something small.
Mhm.
Or I'm furious or I'm livid if you're really, really angry about something serious.
Those are strong words. Furious and livid both mean extremely angry. You'd only use these for very serious situations.
Exactly. You wouldn't say, I'm livid that it's raining. That's way too strong.
Right. You'd say, I'm disappointed it's raining, or I'm bummed about the rain.
Bummed is a nice casual way to say mildly disappointed.
Let's practice some more situations. Bob, what if someone cancels plans with you at the last minute?
Well, I think I'd say I'm frustrated or I'm irritated. Maybe I'm annoyed if it's not too serious.
Those are all perfect choices. And notice the difference. Frustrated suggests you feel blocked or prevented from doing what you wanted.
Right, and irritated is like when something bothers you, like a small annoyance.
Exactly. What about positive situations? What if you just finished a really challenging project at work?
Oh, I probably say, I'm proud of myself, or I feel accomplished.
Beautiful. You could also say, I feel satisfied, or I have a sense of achievement.
Those are lovely expressions. A sense of achievement sounds very natural.
Now, let's talk about how to respond when someone asks about your feelings. It's not always appropriate to go into great detail.
That's a great point. If a cashier at the store says, "How are you?" they probably just want to hear, "I'm fine, thanks," or "I'm good, how are you?"
Exactly. That's just polite small talk.
But if a close friend asks, "How are you feeling about your job interview tomorrow?" that's different. They really want to know.
Right. Then you might say, honestly, I'm pretty nervous, but also excited about the opportunity.
Perfect example. You started with honestly, which signals that you're about to give a real, thoughtful answer.
You could also start with, to be honest, or actually, or, well, if I'm being completely honest.
Those are all great ways to show you're giving a sincere answer.
Let's do one more scenario. What if someone asks about your feelings about a difficult topic, like moving to a new city?
Oh, that's complex. I might say, I have mixed feelings. I'm excited about new opportunities, but I'm also sad about leaving my friends here.
That's beautifully expressed. You acknowledged both the positive and negative emotions.
And that's so important. Life isn't just happy or sad, it's often both at the same time.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, let's give our listeners a few quick tips.
Great idea. First tip, don't just use basic words like good, bad, happy, or sad. Try to be more specific about what you're feeling.
Second tip, it's okay to feel multiple things at once. You can say, I'm excited but nervous, or I'm happy but a little worried.
Third tip, match your language to the situation. Don't say you're furious about small things, and don't say you're just okay when something amazing happens.
And finally, pay attention to how native speakers express their feelings in movies, TV shows, and real conversations. You'll pick up lots of natural expressions.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Marta and I hope this conversation was helpful for understanding how to express your feelings in English.
We really enjoyed talking about this topic today. Remember, expressing your feelings clearly helps you communicate better and build stronger relationships.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for listening to Conversations in English today.
We hope to see you in our next episode. And please leave us a comment with suggestions for conversation topics you'd like us to cover.
Yes, we love hearing from you. Until next time, keep practicing and keep having great conversations in English.
Bye, everyone. Actually, before we go, I think we should talk about cultural differences in expressing emotions. This is really important for English learners to understand.
Oh, that's a fantastic point, Martha. Different cultures have very different ways of expressing emotions, and this can definitely affect how people communicate in English.
Exactly. For example, in many Western cultures, it's pretty common to share personal feelings openly with friends and even acquaintances. But in other cultures, people might be more reserved.
Right. So, as an English learner, you need to pay attention to the context. In casual American or British English, it's usually fine to say things like, "I'm stressed" or "I'm feeling overwhelmed," even with coworkers.
But you still want to be professional. Instead of saying, I'm furious with my manager, you might say, I'm frustrated with this situation, or
I have some concerns about how things are being handled.
That's a great distinction. Let's talk about formal versus informal ways to express emotions. We've been using mostly informal language today, but sometimes you need to be more formal.
Absolutely. For example, instead of, I'm pumped about this project, in a formal setting, you might say, I'm very enthusiastic about this project, or I'm quite optimistic about the outcomes.
And instead of saying, I'm bummed or that sucks, you could say, I'm disappointed or that's quite unfortunate. The meaning is similar, but the tone is much more professional.
Now, here's something really important. It's not just about the words you choose. Your tone of voice and body language are just as important as the actual words when expressing emotions.
Exactly. You could say the exact same words, I'm fine, but say it enthusiastically and it means you're genuinely okay. Say it with a flat, monotone voice and people will know something's wrong.
That's so true. English speakers are very good at reading between the lines. If someone says, "Oh, that's just great," in a sarcastic tone, they clearly don't think it's great at all.
Let's practice with some more scenarios, Martha. What if someone asks you how you felt about a movie you didn't enjoy?
Well, I wouldn't want to be rude, so I might say, "Honestly, it wasn't really my cup of tea," or "I wasn't crazy about it." These are polite ways to say you didn't like something.
Those are perfect. You could also say, it was okay, but not really my style. Or, I found it a bit slow for my taste. These expressions let you share your honest opinion without being harsh.
Let's talk about expressing emotions in relationships, whether that's friendship, romantic relationships, or family. This requires a different level of emotional vocabulary.
Absolutely. You might need to express more complex feelings like, I feel appreciated, I feel supported, or I feel understood. These are deeper than just happy or sad.
And on the more challenging side, you might need to express feelings like, I feel neglected, I feel taken for granted, or I feel like we're growing apart. These conversations require careful, thoughtful language.
That's such an important point. When you're expressing difficult emotions in relationships, it's often helpful to use I feel statements instead of you statements. This makes the conversation less accusatory.
Exactly. Instead of saying, you never listen to me, you could say, I feel unheard when we have these conversations. It's the same concern, but expressed in a way that's more likely to lead to productive dialogue.
Let's explore some emotions that English learners often struggle to express precisely. What about different types of stress and pressure? They're not all the same.
Great topic. You might feel under pressure when there's a deadline. You could feel overwhelmed when there's too much to do, or you might feel burned out when you've been working too hard for too long.
And there's also stretched thin when you're trying to do too many things at once, or frazzled when stress is making you feel scattered and disorganized. These are much more descriptive than just saying, I'm stressed.
Now, let's focus on some positive emotions that often get oversimplified. There are so many different ways to express appreciation and gratitude beyond just, I'm happy or thank you.
Right. You could say, I'm grateful, I'm touched, I'm moved by your kindness, or I really appreciate this. Each one has a slightly different feeling. Touched is more emotional, grateful is more formal.
And for those moments when you're really impressed by something, you could say, I'm in awe, I'm blown away, or I'm amazed. These show much stronger positive reactions than just, that's nice.
Before we really finish up, let's give our listeners a few more advanced tips for expressing emotions like a native speaker.
Advanced tip number 1, learn emotional collocations, words that naturally go together. We say deeply moved, bitterly disappointed, pleasantly surprised, not just very moved or very disappointed.
Advanced tip number 2. Pay attention to emotional metaphors. English speakers often use phrases like, I'm walking on air, I'm on cloud 9, my heart sank, or I'm over the moon. These colorful expressions make your English sound more natural.
And advanced tip number 3, practice using emotional adverbs. Instead of just, I'm scared, try, I'm absolutely terrified, or I'm slightly nervous, or I'm genuinely excited. These adverbs add precision to your emotional expression.
Wow, Martha, we've covered so much ground today. From basic emotional vocabulary to cultural considerations to advanced expressions. I think our listeners have a lot to practice with.
We really have. And remember, everyone, expressing emotions accurately in English takes practice. Don't worry if it feels challenging at first. Start with simple expressions and gradually build up to more complex emotional vocabulary.
Absolutely. And practice expressing your real feelings in English whenever you can. The more you use these expressions in real situations, the more natural they'll become.
Thank you so much for staying with us through this extended conversation about emotions in English. We hope you found it helpful and informative.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep expressing yourselves, and remember, it's okay to feel multiple emotions at once. Goodbye, everyone.